A Colombian presidential hopeful has been shot in the head at a rally, and would you believe that this is not the first time this exact same thing has happened in Colombia? There's footage of some of them, but anyway, a Colombian presidential candidate remains in intensive care after he was shot 3 times, twice in the head, at a campaign event in the capital of Bogota. Miguel Uribe Turbe, a 39-year-old senator, was attacked while addressing supporters in a park on Saturday. Police arrested a 15-year-old suspect at the scene, the Attorney General's office said, because one thing that cartels and stuff like that very often do is they use young, impressionable, stupid youngsters to carry out their hits and then just leave them to the wolves in a 40-year prison sentence. That's a common thing that they do. Uribe's wife, Maria Claudia Tarazona, called on the nation to pray for his survival, saying Miguel is currently fighting for his life. Let us ask God to guide the hands of the doctors who are treating him. Uribe's Centro Democratico Party condemned the attack, calling it a threat to democracy and freedom in Colombia. Footage shared online appears to show the moment when he was shot in the head mid speech, prompting those gathered to flee in panic. He was airlifted to the Santa Fe Foundation Hospital, where supporters gathered to hold a vigil. Uribe was rushed into surgery while in a critical condition. Bogota Mayor Carlos Fernando Galan said late on Saturday night. The hospital said on Sunday morning that Uribe had undergone procedures to his head and left thigh before being taken to be stabilised in intensive care. He remains in an extremely serious condition, it added. The 15-year-old suspect was shot in the leg as police and security officers pursued him following the attack, according to local media. He was arrested carrying a 9mm Glock type firearm. A statement from the Attorney General's office said an investigation is underway. The government of left wing President Gustavo Petro said it categorically condemned the attack as an act of violence, not only against his person, but also against democracy. Oh, a thing that cartels definitely care very deeply about. Defense Minister Pedro Sanchez deplored the vile attack and offered a 3 billion peso $730,000 reward for information about who may have been behind it. US Secretary of State Marco Rubio also condemned the shooting as a direct threat to democracy. I mean, I'm fine with democracy being threatened. Democracy sucks. He blamed the attack, without providing examples, on violent leftist rhetoric coming from the highest levels of the Colombian government. The suspect's motivation remains unclear. Many Colombians have condemned the hostile rhetoric increasingly used by the government and opposition parties alike. The week before the shooting was particularly tense, with Petro seeking popular backing for his reforms in a move that opposition leaders, including Uribe, dubbed unconstitutional. Petro urged Colombians to wish Uribe well on what he described as a day of pain in a video address to the nation. There was a political difference between Uribe and the government, but it was only political, he said. What matters most today is that all Colombians focus with the energy of our hearts, with our will to live, on ensuring that Dr. Miguel Uribe stays alive, the president added. Uribe, a right wing critic of Petro, announced his candidacy for next year's presidential election in October. He has been a senator since 2022. He is from a prominent political family in Colombia with links to the country's Liberal Party. His father was a union leader and businessman. I think they do right wing, left wing very different in South America. His mother was Diana Turbe, a journalist who was killed in a 1991 rescue. Oh, I've seen that. Yeah, I'm aware of that. I'm aware of this incident. His mother was Diana Turbe, a journalist who was killed in 1991 in a rescue attempt after she had been kidnapped by the Medellin drugs cartel run at the time by Pablo Escobar. I remember this incident, and that was his mother. That's mental, actually. For many, Saturday's shooting harked back to Colombia's violent history, when figures like Escobar attacked politicians to pressure the government. A lot of people don't know, but Escobar was actually voted into the parliament, and it didn't last very long. We cannot return to situations of political violence, nor to times when violence was used to eliminate those who thought differently, Bogota Mayor Galan said shortly after the attack. Petro had been elected on a promise to bring total peace to the country. Colombia. Fucking good luck. He made early progress in talks with gangs and rebel groups, but his interior minister recently acknowledged that the strategy was not going well. Dozens of soldiers and police officers were killed over a 2 week span in April in attacks the Colombian government blamed on armed groups. Earlier in the year, more than 32,000 people fled their homes in the northern Catatumbo region, where the rival rebel groups engaged in bloody fighting despite a peace treaty. Now, Colombia is a violent place. And again, this is not the first time that a presidential candidate has been shot dead on stage. There was one where you could. It's a pretty famous video. He's walking back to his car after making his speech, and in the crowd of people, you literally see someone just come up behind him like that in the crowd, and it's all caught on video. There's another one which was also part of a Pablo Escobar. Like basically, if anybody's ever seen Narcos, right? Basically, Narcos Mexico is very, very meh. Season 3 was very, very meh and was obviously just for them to tie up loose ends with the Cali cartel and stuff like that. All of that's whatever. Season 1 and 2 of Narcos is amazing. It's the whole story of Pablo Escobar. So seriously, season 1 of 2 of Narcos, incredible. It's so good. Definitely watch it. And a lot of that stuff is in it, by the way. Like one presidential candidate gets shot dead on stage. It's even got like that kidnapping with the journalist where she was killed in the botched rescue attempt. It's got all of that in it. It's very, very good. However, Colombia, it's not a safe place. Very, very dangerous if you're a politician. Very, very dangerous if you're a police officer. Um, this isn't the first time this has happened, and it's definitely not going to be the last.